This is another sign of the times, an analysis and a commentary. 2011 was 11th hottest on record. The world last year wasn't quite as warm as it has been for most of the past decade, government scientists said, but it continues a general trend of rising temperatures. The average global temperature was 57.9 degrees Fahrenheit, making 2011 the 11th hottest on record, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has said. That's 0.9 degrees warmer than the 20th century average, officials said. In fact, it was hotter than every year last century, except 1998. One reason 2011 was milder than recent years was La Niña cooling of the central Pacific Ocean. La Niñas occur every few years and generally cause global temperatures to drop. But this was the warmest La Niña year on record, and 2011 also was the warmest year on record for Spain and Norway, and the second warmest for the United Kingdom. In the United States, it was only 1 degree above normal, which made it the 23rd warmest on record, but 17 cities, including Houston, Miami, Trenton, and Austin, had their warmest years. This marks the 35th straight year that global temperatures were warmer than normal. NOAA's records for world average temperatures date back to 1880. It would be premature to make any conclusion that we would see any break from the longer-term warming trend, said Tom Karl, director of NOAA's National Climatic Data Center. Global temperatures are continuing to increase. NASA, which calculates global temperatures in a slightly different way, announced essentially the same temperature for the year, but NASA's record-keeping calls it the 9th warmest ever. Both NASA climate scientist James Hansen and University of Victoria's Andrew Weaver said they expect that in the next few years the world will set yet a new record high temperature. 2010 tied for the hottest on record. NOAA also released new figures for extreme weather. The agency recalculated the number of billion-dollar weather disasters in the United States, bumping the total from 12 to 14. Officials added Tropical Storm Lee, which dumped rain from Maryland to New England in September, and a July hail and windstorm in Colorado to the list. The 14 extreme events smashed the old record of $9 billion disasters in 2008. America has endured an unusually large number of extreme events, totaling damages of more than $55 billion, NOAA Deputy Administrator Catherine Sullivan said. She blamed a variety of factors, including population changes. For the year, a record 58% of the United States had either extreme rainfall or severe drought, about triple what is normal for the country. 7 states, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Indiana, and Kentucky, had their wettest years since those types of records were kept beginning in 1895. Texas had its driest year ever. The record wet up north and dry down south fits with what climate change science predicts, but it is too early to say if 2011's precipitation extremes were due to global warming, Karl said, and the unusual number of deadly tornadoes can't be linked to global warming, he said. But Kevin Trenberth, director of climate analysis at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, which is a consortium of universities, said it's hard not to see the hand of man-made global warming behind the extremes. Where these events occur is largely driven by natural variability, but the fact they are breaking records and causing tremendous damage when they do occur is undoubtedly because of the human stimulus, Trenberth said. In other words, the climate is changing, no matter what you call it, or whatever the causes may be. And this, too, is another sign of the times, the end of times as we know them, transition days, which is a time of extraordinary changes, happenings, and events, because it's about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations. And again, that should be a very important question to ask. Everything that must change quickly or rapidly, and for the better. This is the time when the past, the present, and the future comes together or collides into one another in some kind of way. In other words, you can't have a future if things in the present don't change. It's about the future of the planet and the future of humanity. Acts chapter 2, verse 16. But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. 17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. 18. And on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my Spirit, and they shall prophesy. 19. And I will show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. 20. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come. 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Everything is connected, and everything is numbered. It's also called fate or destiny. It's time for the manifestation of prophecy, and all these or more signs